Recently, my channel has been a little bit empty. The cupboard is bare. I look at my analytics and I think I did one video for the month. Some of you have come back and been asking if I'm okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm fine. Nothing sinister going on. Really, it's just I've started a new job, which is getting me busy, sort of finding my feet in this new environment. I had a bit of a health scare last year, so I'm getting fit again, and that's taking up a lot of time with riding and running, etc. I've started a podcast, which I'll mention a bit later. And so, yeah, I've just been a bit pressed for time. Being pressed for time has made me go back, though, and think hard about how am I spending my time? And in particular, what media am I consuming and sort of how am I spending my time there? That has led to me doing a massive cull, particularly of the YouTube channels I watch, and has made me think really hard in going through that cull. What are the things that a YouTuber will do that I hate so much that I will unsub and perhaps even block your channel so it's not recommended to me? I figured, having sorted that out, going through the culling process, I could share it with you. So here we are. One, two, 1, 2. Okay, so I'm Pete McConville. Welcome to my channel. Here I overthink, overtalk, overanalyze, and in general, just go way too deep on watches. That is something of a clue for what comes next, which is the 5 things a YouTuber can do that I absolutely hate, to the point where it means I will almost certainly unsub and perhaps even block you. We'll start with number 1, and that is stating the bleeding obvious. I can use Google as well as the next man. I don't need a YouTuber searching out and telling me that a watch is made from steel, that a watch comes from Switzerland. I don't need them telling me the brand that made the watch or its lug-to-lug length. I can Google all of that. What I want from you is something that I might not have known just from Googling it. I want your opinion. I want your reasoned judgment. I want you to give me something that makes me think. If you're just going to regurgitate the press release, then I don't have time for you. On the topic of opinions and judgments, though, that brings us to the second thing that will get me unsubbing from you, and that is not doing your research or not thinking about the watch or the topic or the company that you are discussing. If you go on YouTube, if you have a channel, if you make videos, I'm going to hold you to a higher standard than some rando commentator. I'm not from a commenter, I'm happy with the idea that they shoot from the hip and they often don't know what they're talking about. But if you're going to go and publish your views and put them out in the world, I'm going to hold you to a higher standard. If you're going to run a YouTube channel, if you're going to have a video, you don't get to say, I don't understand why it's this color or why they use this movement or why it costs this much, when just a modicum of research and tincture of thought would have made it bleedingly obvious what the issue is, and you should have communicated that to us. If you can't be bothered thinking, I can't be bothered listening to you. Okay, the third practice that a YouTuber can fall into that'll get me unsubbing is to routinely say that a brand, any brand, should be like Rolex. Now, I get Rolex has been amazingly successful. You know, they are one of the biggest brands, certainly one of the biggest watch brands, perhaps one of the biggest brands in the world. And that's been great for them. I'm less confident that it's very good for us. If you think about Rolex and the way they control their catalog so tightly and access so tightly and offer so few watches and so few sizes and so few colorways and so few genres and no complications. And if you think about that, now imagine what the watch hobby would look like if people actually took YouTubers' advice and did that too. Imagine if Omega or Breitling or Longines or any of those brands acted like Rolex. Imagine how much poorer our community would be, how many watches we wouldn't get, styles we wouldn't get, movements and designs and colors and genres, all gone because they did this dumb thing and were more like Rolex. Now, if more brands were like Rolex, it would be the death of our hobby. And I'm not really going to support YouTubers that advocate for that. Okay, the fourth thing that will get me unsubbing is a YouTuber not placing any value on authenticity or on design or on the authenticity of a design. If a YouTuber reduces a luxury watch to a set of specs and a price and some sort of bang for buck ratio and doesn't value the creative process, doesn't value all of the narrative and history and everything that goes along with a luxury watch purchase, then I'm just going to assume that they don't, if you don't value originality and authenticity, well, I'm going to assume they're not original or authentic. And therefore, why would I value anything they do? Okay, so the fifth and final mortal sin that will get you struck from my list of subscriptions is reviewing the wearers of a watch instead of the watch itself. If you routinely drop into describing a watch as, this is a watch bought by, and then insert pejorative statement here, someone from a particular race, someone from a particular ethnic group, someone from a particular nationality, someone who's, if you start talking about this is a footballer's watch or a rap star's watch, if you use any of those sorts of terms, at best you're lazy and at worst you're a bigot, and I've got no time for either. So yeah, I'm not watching your channel anymore. There are some other pet peeves that annoy me that don't necessarily rise to the idea of mortal sin that gets you sent to YouTube hell. Some of my pet peeves would be rabbiting on about easily changed accessories like bracelets, saying all collectors should have, and insert watch here, a Speedmaster, a Seiko, a Rolex, as though we're one homogenous group. Not realizing that collectors usually have a collection of watches. As such, versatility isn't that important. Being special at something is actually a bigger deal. So if you rabbit on about versatility and, God forbid, timelessness, you might get sin binned, but you won't necessarily get traded out and delisted. Before I go on, there's something I should probably say first, which is I don't watch dealer videos at all. So even before I had this cull, guys like Roman Schaff and Paul Thorpe, they're just not my jam. I don't watch. Dealers have a place, the system needs them, but it's an ugly place that I get no joy from. So I don't really watch what they do. Likewise, I don't watch a lot of watch review channels. I only watch a watch review when I'm researching an individual watch. I don't really keep an eye on review channels. So, a lot of them may break these rules, may not, I don't know. But anyway, so having been through this process and culled dozens of channels from my subscription list, I think some of you might be interested in who survived, who made it to the end. Well, basically, as it turned out, 3 YouTubers made it. I now subscribe to 3 YouTube channels. Those are Adrian Barker, Britt Pierce, and Andrew Morgan. One thing I'll note is I disagree with all 3 of those people routinely. I disagree with all of them at least as often as I agree with them. However, each one of those 3 people does their research, thinks hard about what their opinions are, presents well-reasoned and well-researched opinions that even if I disagree with, are worth wrestling with. They're not lazy. They don't fall back into dodgy stereotypes. They value all the things I think are important in a watch. And so, yeah, they're the ones that they're the only ones that I subscribe to and will watch. One other thing I should note is I do continue to scan the entire community and watch and sort of see what's going on, but I don't necessarily watch the videos. I just sort of try and get a hum of what the buzz is to see if there's any topics I might want to research. And then I might dive down and look at individual videos for researching a topic, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'll watch all of someone, so hence no other names here. I do also watch and participate in some streams, but I see that more as hanging out with mates than watching videos. So I haven't really listed those here either. What about you? What are the things that a YouTuber can do that irritate you to the point that you just won't watch anymore? You will go find something else to do. You will unsub, or God forbid, you will even block them and say to YouTube, don't show me their videos even on the home screen anymore. Hopefully I haven't committed any of those. If I have, I guess you've probably unsubbed and you won't be able to leave a comment, but be that as it may. As I said, I've been Pete McConville. If you like this video, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Oh, yep, as I said on the introduction, I have started a new podcast with one of my very good friends, John. We have just started. It is called Hot Take Time. I believe at the moment we're only available on Spotify. The only podcast we have up at the moment is our trial and error pilot. So please, if you do give me comments, be gentle. We are trying to get better, but at the same time, I am kind of learning by doing. Okay, as I said, I've been Pete McConville. We will see each other again soon, I'm sure. Bye.